Well, we have 1 p.m., so I think we are good to get started. Let's get this show on the road. Thank you so much for joining us for the monthly ramp up presented to you by Franchise Ramp. My name is Nick Hansen, and I'm the director of creative here, and I'm super excited for this latest edition of this webinar series that includes a mix of in the trenches knowledge and high-level strategy, along with a featured interview with the franchisee. Today, we have franchisee Aija Brameus with Pure Barre Lincoln Square, and our awesome franchisee success manager, Kristen Setzer, will conduct the interview. We're going to start today with a tactical tools session with Franchise Ramp account manager, Alex Hyland. Thank you so much for attending today. The monthly ramp up's goal is to give you a coherent picture of what's happening at the intersection of marketing and franchising. We want this to be a tight-knit community for franchisees to share knowledge and gain insight. Our mission at Franchise Ramp is to help franchisees realize their entrepreneurial dreams. We were tired of working with digital marketing agencies who didn't understand franchising or sales in general. So we took matters in our own hands, became Facebook experts, and added other digital marketing experts to our team. We are the new standard in franchise digital marketing and help clients obtain more quantity and higher quality leads. Please come back and join us again. And now it's time for our tactical tool session with account manager, Alex Hyland.
Well, thank you, Nick. Welcome, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Today, we'll be focusing on placements, which is one of the main marketing aspects we use on a daily basis and how that benefits franchisees. So my name is Alex Hyland. I'm an account manager here at Franchise Ramp. Just a little background on me. I have a background in all things digital marketing, from Google ads to Facebook ads, email marketing, and e-commerce. I'm a data-driven individual and love seeing clients win. My passion for entrepreneurial development is what brought me to Franchise Ramp, and we will jump into the intro. So here's just some quick fundamentals. I like to say, what are you actually buying when you're buying Facebook ads? The answer to that is virtual real estate. So Facebook sells that real estate to advertisers. Facebook owns virtual real estate on various platforms, including Facebook and Instagram as their biggest. Facebook uses auctions to sell its real estate to advertisers on the platform. And when they sell advertisers views or impressions, that metric we like to say is CPM, or cost per 1,000 impressions. You can go to the next slide, Nick. And then here are just a few of the ad placements that we have access to. So platforms are the different applications like Facebook and Instagram, and then placements are the individual spots within those applications where you can show your ads. So within those platforms, there's numerous places to show your ads. You can see on the right here, we have feeds and stories and reels, in-stream, reels overlay, search and message, and etc. We tend to focus on feeds, stories, and reels for the most part, as reels are relatively new. So we've been testing out a bunch of different things in the reels placement. We work hard to optimize for whichever placement is performing best in terms of CPM and CPL at any given time. And each one of these placements can require specific dimensions for creative and can work with different types of media like image, boomerangs, or videos. So when we're requesting different kinds of creative, that's most of the time the reason. A lot of the placements have different dimensions required to show in that exact placement. You can go to the next slide, Nick. So here's just a few placement examples. It's kind of cool to see the differences in what your same creative asset would look like on different placements across Facebook and Instagram. So we have your typical feeds there on the left side where you're going to have your text block at the top, and then your main video and your call to action under that with a little headline. And then stories will be basically a full screen experience, and same with reels. So you'll see that free bar class banner. That's a lot of the times why we put banners in our ads. So when we're showing on stories or reels, you're still seeing some of that text, because after the video is done, that's when the full text will show. and they'll see that call to action on Reels, or you can see on the bottom of stories that call to action is right there as get offer. And then on the right side, you'll see what it looks like in search. We don't use this as often, but that's just another example of the differences in placements and what they can look like across the platform. You can go to the next slide, Nick. So differences in CPM, or cost per 1,000 impressions. In different markets at specific times, CPM cost can vary a lot. You can see here in this example, in this specific location, we had a much lower CPM. So we focused our energy on stories and reels to grab the most views and therefore show your ads as much as possible. So you can see the CPM over there on the story side is $9.87. And then in that same location, when we showed on feeds, we got a $20.49 CPM. So this is what we're doing when we're trying to focus on different placements, get your ad in front of the most people as possible for the lowest cost. And a lot of the times that will correlate to a lower cost per lead as well. So that's obviously our driving factor for all locations, is try to get those low cost leads that are high intent as well. It doesn't always have to correlate that way, but a lot of the time we do see lower cost per lead with lower cost or CPM. You can go to the next slide, Nick. So here's just a bunch of the different levers that we can pull when we're solving for volume. So say you're not receiving enough leads, we can go on the back end and see, hey, what's the issue? If it's CPM related, we can look at copy or different levers to pull. If it's click-through rate or CTR, we can look at these different levers as well to pull. And then lead form submission rate, we can look at changing the offer, adding different things on that lead form that will lower your CPL, lower your CPL, lower your CPM, give you better leads in general and more leads as well. You can go to the next slide, Nick. And then this is kind of the same thing, but solving for intent of leads. If you're getting unqualified leads in, or unaware leads, or they're only completing that trial offer. These are just some of those different levers that we're always looking at on our side to maximize your results in every single location. You can go to the next slide, Nick. And what this means to you. So Franchise Ramp is maximizing the results of your advertising by choosing the best virtual real estate options to show your ads. So we're constantly analyzing which placement is best for your location's target market at any given time to improve performance. And we're constantly developing creative and working on local creative, because local can work better on different placements for your location. So that's why a lot of the times on those checkup calls, you'll see us asking for different local creative variations, because we're trying to optimize for those different placements. Local seems to work very well in a lot of different locations. So that might be something that you'll see pop up on some of your checkup calls. But that's it from my side. So I'll go along and pass it to Kristen Setzer.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the July monthly ramp up. I am Kristen Setzer. I am a franchisee success manager here at Franchise Ramp, and I have the lovely guest of Miss Aija. She has been a Pure Barre owner since March of 2021. She is the Pure Barre owner of Lincoln Square in Chicago. She has been a part of Pure Barre for 7 years. She's originally from Sweden. She has tons of experience in health and wellness. She's married and she has 2 daughters in college, but whenever they're back home, she makes sure that they are working in the studio. So Aija, how are you today?
I'm good. Thank you, Kristen.
Wonderful. So great to hear. So of course, the first question is going to be, how long have you been in franchising? Since March?
Well, since you already answered that question, since March of 2021. So quite fresh still. Lots to learn.
Awesome. So tell us about your journey into franchising. What made you decide to start a Pure Barre, all the good stuff?
Well, first of all, I've been part of the Pure Barre. Pure Barre has been part of my life for the last 7 years. So I probably wouldn't have gotten into that if I didn't know what was happening in the Pure Barre. So started as a client. At that time, we lived back in Texas. It sort of became my passion, and I was like there every day. And when we moved to Chicago, I was like, oh, maybe I should start working there. I really feel that it's like something that is like really close to my heart, and I've seen so much benefits to my health, and also what has it done to the other people. So I actually started working at the studio as a sales manager, and then at the age of 49, I became a Pure Barre teacher. And it was like one thing led to another, and then of course COVID happened, and a perfectly established studio landed in my lap as an offer. Do you want to purchase a studio? And luckily I have a very supportive family, and they were like, yes, you have to do it. You are talking about this every single day. So it was a little bit like a no-brainer. So to take it over, there was a lot of things I had never owned a franchise before. So I had a very little understanding what I was getting in myself, maybe for the best that I didn't know.
That's an amazing story. And, you are in a business venture where you are able to display your passion on a daily basis. So that's fantastic. So what results have you achieved with your location recently? And what do you think the biggest contributors to that success were?
Yeah. Well, that's a very good question. So remember, when I took over the studio in 2021, we were in the middle of the pandemic, and we had no idea which direction things are going to go over. So huge risk at that point. So the studio at that point had, after all the closings and openings, had left a little bit over 100 clients. We were running on a very, very, very limited capacity. So rolling the sleeves up, keeping all the staff on board. We have increased our member count by 150%, even more. Our revenue by 150%. I will always remember my first months when we closed the first month in March. I had $48 in the bank account. So after paying the lease and after paying all the salaries, so that was already a huge success. So 1.5 years later, I can say that I can finally sleep through a night without waking up in the middle of the night and thinking, oh, what I'm going to do tomorrow. So yeah. And the answer to the other question, what has led it to success? Well, first of all, the sleepless nights. Secondly, the persistence, repeating the same thing over and over and over, day after day, and not being afraid to ask for help. I am one of these people, if I need to ask for help, I'm not shy. So I have been bombarding the corporate office, the marketing, the sales, everyone who can help me with something. And of course, a lot of mistakes were done throughout these 1.5 years. But the persistence and just not giving up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I live in Chicago in the last 1.5 years. We have been in masks for, at that point, probably a little over a year, and the mask didn't come off until the beginning of this year. So there was a lot of challenges, but just keeping the smile on the face, even inside, sometimes I just wanted to scream.
You are such an inspiration. So as a high performing franchisee, you have to take risks in order to get to the next level of your business. Mm-hmm. So what is a risk that you have had to take in your business journey that has helped you reach to the next level of success?
Yeah, well, of course, risks was everything. So remember, it was COVID, and then of course the financial risk. So the financial risk is always the one which is like, well, are we going to still live in our place, or are we going to end up living under the bridge, when everything falls apart? So those are the biggest risks. But I'm also someone who I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid of taking the risk and having my family on board and being there and supporting and say, hey, we will get there. I'm also extremely stubborn. And I am very, very, I have a little bit of fear of failure. So I would hate if someone would say, oh, I told you that you wouldn't be able to do it. So it's all like a huge motivator for me. So of course, when you own a business, you have responsibility for the people who come through the door and also for the people who work for you. I would hate if I'd have to tell my people that, hey, I can't pay your salary this month, or call a landlord and say I cannot pay the lease. So of course, these are all the risks, and the risks is also what keeps you going.
Absolutely. So is there a particular experience that you draw from that has helped you make some crucial decisions over the past few weeks?
Well, not so much about the past few weeks, but I would say that in the last year in general. So of course, since we are on with talking with the in the digital marketing call, so like knowing where to invest the money, how to achieve the goals. So rather than focusing on experience, I'm always focusing on the goal. And I think you and me talked at one of our calls. Like I had this ultimate goal of reaching 300 clients, and then once that happens, being able to increase the prices. So, and once you have that goal in front of you and you have communicated it with your team, and let's see how we are going to get there. Well, we need to get more people through the door, and we need to make sure the right people come through the door, the good quality people throughout the door. And that's of course where the marketing comes in, because that's when I started to sleep a little bit better, when we finally had a really great collaboration with the marketing team. A lot of mistakes done through the road. You are actually the number 3 company I'm working with since I took over my business, and it's been the best experience too.
Oh, wonderful. That makes me so happy. I'm so happy to hear that.
So like literally investing the money where in marketing probably is one of the most smartest things any business owner can do.
Absolutely. So, last but not least, the question I have for you is, what advice would you give to franchisees who are just starting out?
Well, the one which I keep telling myself is you have to treat your business as a business. You can't treat your business as a hobby, because if you have responsibility for the people, if you have responsibility for jobs, you have responsibility for so many things, you need to know what you're doing. So of course, I have never owned a business before, so this is my first business. So, but like that, just knowing that, when you have a business, you have to treat it as a business. You have to work every day. You have to make sure that, especially from the beginning, like the first 6, 7, 8 months, it will be very little payback to yourself. Every single dollar which comes in the business also will be invested into the business back. So, and of course, you like, especially in the franchise world, when you have a very strong corporate office, do not try to invent something new. You have so many tools available, and just don't be afraid and go and ask for help. And that's all available for us. And I've taken advantage of every single help I can get.
That's amazing. Well, Aija, we appreciate you more than you know. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us. It's going to be super helpful for all the franchisees out there. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. Nick, we'll turn it back over to you.
Thank you, Kristen and Aija. That was absolutely amazing. And we do have a little bit of time for a Q&A. I didn't see any questions come through the chat or in the Q&A, but we'll maybe wait just 10 or 20 seconds and see if we get anything to come through. Aija, do you get back to visit Sweden at all, or maybe no time right now?
Well, right now, no time, and it's also the last 2 years have been horrible with the pandemic and COVID and travel restrictions and everything. So yes, we have all our families back in Sweden. So hopefully by Christmas.
Maybe Pure Bar Stockholm someday, maybe, or
well, that's not the question to me. That's the question to the corporate office.
If anyone from corporate
would be
is
fun,
listening,
right? It would be fun.
That would be very cool. Well, not seeing any questions come through, but please know that we email the recording of this out to every franchisee on our email list. And if any questions come to you after the fact, please don't hesitate to reach out. And thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. We already can't wait to see you next time, and we look forward to working with you to achieve your entrepreneurial dreams. Have an awesome rest of the day.